So guys, in this today's video, I'll show you how to set up Python in Visual Studio. So first of all, we'll need Python and Visual Studio installed in your computer. So to do that, we'll go for Google and first we'll install Python. So type Python and go for its official website over here, and then click on the download and select the version that you need to download that you want. So here the latest version is Python 3.9. Okay, I have downloaded it in my PC and also installed it. Just simple steps in installing. After that, next thing is you'll download Visual Studio. So type VSCode and click on the first link, the official website of Visual Studio, and in the same way click on the download button and download the version that you want. And after installing both Python and Visual Studio, next thing is how to set up the environment in Visual Studio for Python. So when you open Visual Studio for the first time, you'll be taken through the start page, the welcome page. Here on the left side you can see a few icons over here. The first one will show the different files, workspace, folders that you have opened, and the next down here is for the searching the files in your system. And here are other two buttons. We'll be discussing about this in quite a while, and the last one is for the extension. I'll be telling about this also. So after you open it for the first time, what you need to do is click on the file and save workspace as. Okay, before doing that, we need everything to be organized in a particular folder. To do that, we'll create a new folder in our desktop and name it as project files. Okay, now go back to Visual Studio, file, save workspace as, and we'll navigate to the folder that we had created in our desktop. So desktop, project files, and I'll just rename the workspace as Python code. Python code coding. You can give it any name and make sure that dot code workspace and then save. So now we have created a workspace. Now next, to save or create Python files, we need to create a folder. So to do that, I'll create a folder inside the folder that I had created earlier. Again, you can create this any way you want. Just to keep it everything in an organized manner, I'm doing it in the same folder that I had created earlier, and I'll name it as Python files. Okay, now I'll head back to Visual Studio, file, and add folder to workspace. Here you can all add the folders which already have other Python files or any other programming files. So desktop, project files, and the Python files, and I'll add it to the workspace. Now when I click on this icon over here, you can see the Python sorting. Okay, there's a spelling mistake, typo error. Anyway, Python sorting workspace, and then down here the Python file folder. Now here you have two options over here. The first one is to create new file, and the second one is to create new folder. If I click on Python files and click on this folder icon, it'll create a new folder inside the Python files. So I'll name it as new files. Okay, now you can see a new folder created with the name new files inside the Python files folder. So I'll click on new files and click on the first icon, that is to create new file. Now I'll give the name as test.py. py is for the extension for Python programs. So I'll give enter, and you can see a Python file has been created with the name test. So I'll type my first Python program over here, that's print. Okay, print hello world. Okay, now before saving or running this program, we'll need to install few extensions so that it makes it easier to run and easier to build or compile. So go to the extension that I had told earlier and make sure that you are connected to the internet, and here on the search bar you need to search Python, and the first thing you will get is the Python extension by the Microsoft. You will be installing this into your workspace. So I have already installed it and enabled it. So you can just click on install it over here and then just reload the Visual Studio. So one more, this single extension is enough to run your Python code, but to make it more easy and to write the Python program, there are a few other extensions like the Magic Python, which will make it the syntax highlighted. That's basically, it will change the colors such that it's easier to understand large programs. And one more is Kite. Kite is an IntelliCode, that's auto completion. It'll auto complete your small code snippets for Python or any other programming language. But make sure that you have Kite engine installed in your computer also. So after installing all the necessary extension that we require, now head back to the files over here, close and test py, and we'll save our program. So to save program, you can use the shortcut Control S or go to file and save. Okay, after doing that, next to run the Python programs, you have quite a few options. One thing is over here, the icon over here, run and debug, and click on run and debug. Or the other option is click on this run button over here and run without debug. Okay, these are the few options to run the Python program. And another easy method is right click on here and you can run the current test file, or you can click on this button over here and it will run your program in the terminal. So I'll click on it, and for the first time it has to open the terminal, and it will take some time to open and load the Python program from your disk to the terminal and then run. So it has opened the terminal and it's still loading the file, and there you go, you have the hello world printed. So this is how you can run your first Python program. So that was a quick tutorial on setting up Python and running your first Python program in Visual Studios. Thank you.